Hello everyone, welcome to History and Culture. As time passes, when we modern people look back at the ancient emperors, we can discover that Emperor Yongzheng of the Qing Dynasty was not as cold, heartless, and cruel as recorded in historical documents. In his historical context, he might have been compelled to take certain actions to safeguard his imperial authority. His true nature could perhaps be better reflected in his various leisure interests, which reveal a side of him that is more relatable to a human being. Emperor Yongzheng could undoubtedly be hailed as one of the most diligent emperors during the 276 years of the Qing Dynasty. During his 13-year reign, he reviewed over 40,000 memorials and other documents, providing detailed and lengthy annotations on some of them, sometimes totaling over 1,000,000 words. Some have praised Yongzheng as the most diligent ruler in history. Despite the appearance of a workaholic, he also had many personal hobbies. From the surviving Yongzheng's Enjoyment picture album from the Qing Dynasty, Emperor Yongzheng transformed into various roles, such as a scholar in ancient times or a carefree immortal from myths and legends. This was all because Yongzheng was indeed a workaholic. According to historical records, except for his birthday and the New Year, Yongzheng worked tirelessly throughout the year, with only 5 days of rest. Yongzheng's father, Emperor Cixi, traveled to Yangzhou 6 times, and his son, Emperor Qianlong, traveled to Jiangnan 6 times. In comparison, Yongzheng can be considered the first stay-at-home emperor of the Qing dynasty. He never left Beijing during his 13-year reign, not even visiting the Qingda mountain resort, with the farthest journey being a trip to the eastern Qing tombs for ancestral worship, and that was purely due to official duties. This work mode was like the ancient version of a 007 agent, as Yongzheng spent all 365 days of the year, except for 5 days of rest, wearing his work clothes, which annoyed him greatly. Since he had no time to go out and play, Yongzheng sought ways to entertain himself by taking on various roles through paintings, fully showcasing his theatrical talents and expressing his desire for the unattainable. In doing so, he embodied what it truly meant to be a drama enthusiast. In fact, his love for role-playing manifested even before he became emperor. At that time, when he was still the Prince Yong, his father Cixi was troubled by the issue of choosing his heir. At this moment, Yongzheng presented a painting titled Farming and Weaving, in which he transformed himself into a rural farmer, leading his entire family in a grand role-playing session. This greatly delighted Cixi and unearthed Yongzheng's potential for performance art. Apart from his love for role-playing, Yongzheng had hobbies that greatly differed from those of Cixi. While Cixi greatly enjoyed traveling, having gone on numerous trips during his reign, including 6 to Jiangnan, 3 to Yumen Pass, and 5 to Wutai Mountain, he even held 43 Mulan autumn hunts and built the Qingda Mountain Resort for summer retreats. Yongzheng, on the other hand, had no interest in traveling and hunting. However, he inherited Cixi's passion for gardens. Since Emperor Cixi, Qing emperors frequently resided in gardens, and Cixi had a special affection for the Changchun Garden in western Beijing, where he also passed away. However, Yongzheng developed a unique fondness for the Yuanmingyuan, often referred to as the Old Summer Palace. In the second year of his reign, Yongzheng ordered the expansion of the Yuanmingyuan, imitating the style of the Forbidden City for his own leisure and pleasure. By the third year of his reign, after the mourning period, Yongzheng even relocated his office to the Yuanmingyuan and firmly rooted himself there. Even later, the offices of ministers were moved there as well. Yongzheng's love for the Yuanmingyuan was well justified. In the ancient era without air conditioning, staying in the hot and stuffy Forbidden City could hardly compare to the refreshing and beautiful Yuanmingyuan, which improved work efficiency and suited his workaholic nature. During his 13-year reign, he wrote over 10 million characters of annotations on more than 40,000 memorials. With such a tireless work ethic, only his father Kangxi could rival him among Qing emperors. Despite his high artistic accomplishments, Yongzheng was not adept at painting. It wasn't that he disliked painting, but rather he preferred placing himself within the paintings. In these artworks, Yongzheng abandoned the traditional, rigid image of emperors and took on various roles. Among the preserved paintings, there were very few frontal portraits of him dressed in court attire. Instead, most of them depicted Emperor Yongzheng in Han Chinese, Mongolian, or Lama costumes, portraying him as a Han scholar, a Mongolian horseback rider, or a practicing Lama. There were even portraits of him donning a golden wig like a Westerner. Most intriguingly, he left behind many amusing pictures, such as Yongzheng playing with monkeys, Yongzheng playing with tigers, and encountering deer in a dense forest. These images would make it hard for you to imagine that he was an emperor who spent 10 hours every day reviewing memorials. Perhaps, due to the lack of time to experience the lives depicted in these paintings and the inability to live in a simple world, Yongzheng painted these images not merely for the sake of entertainment but as an aesthetic hobby to relax his nerves, enabling him to better handle state affairs. He may not have been a perfect person, but he was undoubtedly a deserving emperor. Of course, for modern people who are distant from the feudal dynasties, it is difficult to fully grasp the feelings of Emperor Yongzheng at that time. This is History and Culture channel. Like and subscribe are the biggest help and support for us. Thank you everyone. See you next time.